Yamuna Tirabana Chari Yamuna Tirabana Chari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Randana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Randana Yamuna Tirabana Chari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Haribo 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 Gaur Haribo Om Jnanatimidandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Shtapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Karamahyam Tadati Svafadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapadakkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahaganam Raghunatam Vitam Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitangscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripasindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha He Krishna karuna sindhu dinabandhu jagatpate Gopesha gopika kanta radha kanta namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Om Namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, good morning everyone. Happy Wednesday. What's today? 30th? Yes. 30th of July. Just a few days ago it was the 1st of July. Suddenly it's the 30th. Okay. And we're very fortunate today. Why are we so fortunate? Can now. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 14, The Forest of Enjoyment, text number 10. Again, we have a prose verse, and it's a short one. It goes like this. This is Shukadeva Swami speaking. He says, and he many times in these verses uses this word kvacit sometimes. Kvacit sakṛd avagata-viṣaya-vaitathyaḥ svayam para-abhidhyānena vibhraṁśita-smṛtis tayaiva marīci-toya-prāyāṁs marīci-toya-prāyāṁs tayā abhidhāvati. Yeah, we can do the word for word. Kvacit, sometimes. Sakṛt, once. Avagata-viṣaya-vaitathyaḥ, becoming conscious of the uselessness of enjoying material sense gratification. Svayam, himself. Para-abhidhyānena, by the bodily concept of the self. Vibhraṁśita, destroyed. Smṛtiḥ, whose remembrance. Tayā, by that. Eva, certainly. Marīci-toya, water in a mirage. Prāyān, similar to. Tan, those sense objects. Eva, certainly. Abhidhāvati, runs after. From the word for word, you get a general idea what's going to happen. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: the conditioned soul sometimes personally appreciates the futility of sense enjoyment in the material world. And he sometimes considers material enjoyment to be full of miseries. However, due to his strong bodily conception, his memory is destroyed. And again, He runs after material enjoyment, just as an animal runs after a mirage in the desert. So it's a promise of a happy story which ends as an unhappy story. Purport: the main disease in material life is the bodily conception. Being baffled again and again in material activity. The conditioned soul temporarily thinks of the futility of material enjoyment, but he again tries the same thing. By the association of devotees, a person may become convinced of the material futility, but he cannot give up his engagement, although he is very eager to return home back to Godhead. Under these circumstances, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in everyone's heart, compassionately takes away all the material possessions of such a devotee. As stated in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 10:88:8, Yasyaham anukrinami harishye tattanam shanai. Lord Krishna says that he takes everything away from the devotee whom he especially favors, when that devotee is overly attached to material possessions. When everything is taken away, the devotee feels helpless and frustrated in society, friendship, and love. He feels that his family does not care for him any longer, and he therefore completely surrenders unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. This is a special favor granted by the Lord to a devotee who cannot fully surrender to the Lord due to a strong bodily conception. As explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 22:39, Ami vignya e murke bishai kene diba. The Lord understands the devotee who hesitates to engage in the Lord's service, not knowing whether he should again try to revive his material life. After repeated attempts and failures, he fully surrenders to the lotus feet of the Lord. The Lord then gives him directions, and attaining happiness, he forgets all material engagement. So the purport ends on a happy note. Kvacit sakṛd avagata-viṣaya-vaitathyaḥ svayam para-abhidhyānena vibhraṁśita-smṛtis tayaiva marīci-toya-prāyāṁs tan evābhidhāvati. The conditioned soul sometimes personally appreciates the futility of sense enjoyment in the material world, and he sometimes considers material enjoyment to be full of miseries. However, due to his strong bodily conception, his memory is destroyed. Vibhraṁśita-smṛtis. And again, he runs after material enjoyment, just as an animal runs after a mirage in the desert. This verse seems to be discussing what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur speaks about anishtata bhakti. We know there's this progression of devotional development, that Rupa Goswami describes. Ado Shraddha, Tata Sadhu Sangota, Tato Bhajana Kriya, Tato Anartha Nivritti, Tato Nishta Ruchis Tata, Tata Saktis Tato Bhava, Tata Prema Yudanshati, Sadhakaman Ayam Premna Pradarbhave Bhavet Krama. So Shraddha to Prema, and Nishta is very much in the middle of the process, and Nishta, sta means standing, and ni means down, standing down, so it indicates firmness, and it becomes retroflex from nis to nish because of internal sandhi, Hare Krishna. So it becomes nishta. And then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives an elaboration on this climbing story in his book Madhurya Kadambini, where he elaborates each one of the stages. Very fascinating book. And he also, I believe it's in that book, he speaks about anishtata bhakti. So there are, I'm not going to remember them all now. He distinguishes 6 types or aspects of unsteady bhakta. One of them is ghanatarala, which means literally thick and thin, which means one day we're fired up and the next day we're fired down. And another one is vishaya sangara, which means inability to control the senses. So it seems like especially these two are suggested by this verse. A lot of good intentions may be there, and yet the explanation in the verse why a person is slipping off from the determination is para-abhidhyānena. Dhyana, of course, means meditation, and abhidhyāna means, you could say, intent meditation. And para, we usually think para means supreme, can also mean the opposite. And it can mean a lot of things. I looked it up in the Sanskrit dictionary. It can just mean other. And in this case, it's understood to be the other, which is the body. In other words, there's the self, the actual self, the Atman, and there's that which is not the self, the para-abhidhyānena. So, because of dhyana or abhidhyāna on the body, what happens? Vibhraṁśita-smṛtis. There's a destruction of memory. And Krishna talks about this in the Gita. We know these verses. It's a kind of domino effect that Krishna speaks about in chapter 2 of the Gita. Jayato vishayan pungsa sangas teshu pajayate. You know this verse? Sangat sanjayate kama, kama krodha abhijayate. Krodat, it keeps going. Krodat bhavati sangmoha, sangmohat smṛtiḥ vibhraṁā. Smṛtiḥ vibhraṁā, exactly what's here, except it's vibhraṁśita-smṛtis. smṛtiḥ buddhi nasho, buddhi nashat, pranashyati, everything finished. Where does it start? Dhyayato vishayan pungsa means of a person. So of a person, there is meditation, dhyayata, from the meditation of a person, on what? Vishayan, on objects of the senses. And there's some connection, as I understand, between vishaya and visha. What does visha mean? Poison, yeah. So sense objects are actually poison. Yeah. Therefore, later in the 5th chapter of the Gita, Krishna says, Yehi sangsparshaja bhoga dukkha yonaya evate atyantavantakonteya nateshu ramate buddha. The Buddha, the intelligent person whose intelligence has not been destroyed, he certainly sparshaja bhoga dukkha yoni understands that the samsparsha, the connection, the touching, the connection with the sense objects is dukkha yoni. Yoni means womb, and dukkha means misery, suffering. It is the womb of it's the cause, the womb out of which is born dukkha, suffering. Atyantavantakonteya, therefore, understanding it has a beginning and an end. Atyantavanta, nateshu ramate, so they don't enjoy sense objects. Buddha, they're intelligent. So, dhyayato vishayan pungsa sangas teshu abhijayate. So, abhijayate, what happens as a result of dhyana, meditation on these objects of the senses? There arises sangha. Sangha, samga, going together. There's a connect. There's a going together with them. And yeah, you can say from that, sangat sanjayate kama, then out of that connection comes kama. So first there's this meditation, then there's a coming together of senses and sense objects, and then arises kama. And what arises as a result of kama? Krodha, yes. And that's when the trouble really starts. I think we all have experience. When we get angry, we lose it. We say in English slang, he lost it. We lose control, isn't it? Despite our better self, we become so disturbed. So krodha, and then krodhat bhavati sang moha. Then there's not just moha, but sang moha, total moha, complete moha. Krodhat bhavati sang mohat smriti vibhrama, and that's now when the memory is disturbed, and it says destroyed, actually, also in this verse, vibhraṁśita, destroyed smriti. Because it's the memory which reminds us. It reminds us, this is not good, this is not going to help us, this is not going to make us happy. Smriti bhraṁśat buddhināśa. If there's no intelligence, what is buddhi can mean, just broadly speaking, reasoning power. And reasoning is very close to the soul, which is close to the super soul. But if that connection is cut off from our intelligence, then we can be dragged away by the sense objects, and then buddhināśat pranashyati, then everything finished. And that's the danger mentioned here as being also for the devotee. We're not safe. As soon as we think we're safe, that's when we're not safe. You could say like that. And yeah, Prahlad Maharaj, speaking to his dear father, my dear demonic father, he says, Matirna Krishna paratasvato va mito abhipadyeta grihavratanam adanta gopir vishatam tamishram punas charvita charvananam. Very graphic image he gives. It's kind of when you hear this image, you think, ugh, horrible. What a horrible thing to do. Punas charvita charvananam, chewing the chewed again and again. That which has already been chewed and spit out, somebody takes and chews it some more. It's ridiculous, isn't it? And it makes us feel kind of disgusted just to hear about it, isn't it? So that's the image of the effort, the attempt to enjoy the senses. It's chewing the chewed. Avagata-viṣaya abhiniveshatasya itam apetasya vibhraṁśita-smṛtis. Forgetting, turning away from the Lord, forgetting the Lord. What's the result? Bhaya, fear. That's the situation. That's the problem, and what's the solution? Well, the solution is good association. Yesterday we remembered this story from the Panchatantra of bad association, the camel, the foolish camel. What did the foolish camel do? Thinking it was welcome in this association of the lion, the jackal, and the crow, it cost him his life. And he actually volunteered himself, right? That he was tricked into volunteering his life. So that's the bad association picture. And of course, what we're looking for is the good association, the spiritual association, which shelters, which protecting from ourselves, so to say, protecting from our own shortcomings, our own weakness, our own tendency to forget. So much in the Bhagavatam is reminding us of this famous verse, Satang prasangam mama virya samvido bhavanti hrit karna rasayana gata tatjoshanat ashvapavargavartmani shraddha bhaktir ratir anukramishyati. Shraddha ratir bhaktir. Shraddha Bhakti, no, Shraddha, anyway, there's a procession, there's a progression. Again, starting with Shraddha and Anukramishyati, step by step. And how is it happening? Satang prasangam. Here the word sangha again, but not just sangha, it's prasanga. And we might say this is the special opportunity, and it's also the special challenge. Being together with others in general is very nice sometimes. And sometimes we think, no, I'm going to go to the forest and stay alone. So then we go to the forest and we stay alone for a while, but then we get lonely. Then we come back to be with devotees. And then like this back and forth. So that becomes another ganatarala, thick and thin enthusiasm for some time. So this is a challenge that we want to overcome, and how to overcome this challenge, how to be genuinely happy in association of devotees. Well, we get some tips. Rupa Goswami gives us a tip in his Upadeshamrita. What is his 6-part tip that he gives? Tadami, tadati pratigrinati, guhyam akyati pritchati, bhunkte bodhayate chaiva, satvidha priti lakshana. The priti lakshana, the characteristics of love, of affection amongst devotees, is this three sets of 2, you could say, types of exchange. And we can say, in one sense, these are quite inclusive, and another, we might say, they're hinting at the whole picture of association. But the one which is perhaps most favorite amongst devotees is the last 2, bhunkte bodhayate chaiva. We all like to, especially we like the bhunkte part. We like to receive and bhojana, to eat. Bodhayate, what does bodhayate mean? To feed, yes. Literally, to cause to eat. So devotees like to induce you to eat. Come on, Prabhu. Take another one. Take more. Yeah. So, but there's the first 2, dadati pratigrinati, giving and receiving. And there's lots of different things we can give and receive. And we want to be, I would say, beginning with appreciation. We can give appreciation and also receive appreciation. We should accept if a devotee expresses any appreciation of us. We shouldn't say, no, Prabhu, it's not, that's Maya. No, that is not Maya. That is appreciation. The devotees are appreciating each other. And that's, you could say, the exchange of gratitude. And gratitude is very it's kritagnya, it's very fundamental to spiritual life in so many ways. So dadati pratigrena guhyam akyati prichati. And here gets a little tricky. Guhyam akyati, to share in confidence. Guhya means confidence. And prichati means to question. And this means, of course, to speak about Krishna with each other, but also to confide with others about matters that concern us. We all have matters that concern us personally, unresolved issues and so on. And then we have to have someone we can confide in. And that means we need to have someone we can trust. And that means the person we trust has to be trusted not to pass on to others what we have spoken in confidence. And that is, for some, difficult. It's not so difficult if one is a little conscious and one practices keeping mum, we say in English, kind of English slang. Mum's the word. Mum means means being silent about others. That can be difficult because we may receive some confidential information, and we feel then immediately kind of burdened by it. And what to do with that? We feel like we want to unload it, and how to unload it. I'll tell somebody else. No, you can't do that. You have to keep it. So, satang prasangan mama virya samvido bhavanti hrit karna rasayana karta, because amongst the devotees, what are they doing? They're relishing about the virya, the great power of the Lord, and the glories of the Lord. And that's an interest. That's a powerful mechanism, you can say, for Sangha, is to remember, okay, we are ever so limited, having ever so many shortcomings, but there's the Lord. And He has no shortcomings. In fact, He is all-powerful. In fact, He is all-wonderful. I was just hearing Srila Prabhupada giving his translation, the one set of recordings we have of Srila Prabhupada which were not recorded over. Prabhupada would translate using his recording tape machine. He would record a session. He would give this magnetic tape to his secretary to transcribe, and then that would come back to Srila Prabhupada, and he would record over it. That was the general system. So all of these books, you will not find audio recordings of them. Why? Because they were always recorded over. But there is one set of recordings which was not recorded over. Jagannath Subhadra Baladev Shri Shri Gaur Nitai Ki Jai. One set of recordings was not recorded over, and that is his Krishna book recordings. So you can hear him with the dictaphone. He's reading the Sanskrit and he's giving his English translation, stop, go, and then he'll say, next paragraph, and then he'll say, quote, end quote. So you can hear that. So he's translating the plan to meet and have a contest with Jarasandha in order to kill him, because he is one of the big obstacles to King Yudhishthir's performing the Rajasuya sacrifice. And there Prabhupada is mentioning that Vishnu has four types of paraphernalia. He has a conch, a club, a disc, and a lotus. And two of these items are for the demons, and two of these items are for the devotees. The two items for the demons are the disc and the club. Smash, slice. And the two items for the devotees are the lotus and the conch. And the lotus and the conch reassure the devotees of the Lord's protection, and the club and the disc, they correct the demons, so that in the end, everyone is benefited. This is the point Prabhupada makes. Everyone is benefited by the Lord. So, satang prasangang mama virya samvido. Bhavanti hrit karna. Hrit karna, hrit means heart, karna means ears, rasa ayana. The reservoir, ayana, of rasa for the ears and the heart, which could also be translated as the reservoir of rasa for the heart ears, the ears of the heartful ears. In other words, when the heart is open, then there's a receptivity of the ears for hearing about the virya, mama virya samvit, of the Lord, which then empowers us in a way so that prasangam, our association, becomes enriching, and then Shraddha Bhakti Ratir Anukramishati. Then the Shraddha, the faith, unfolds, and attraction, Rati, and Bhakti, all of this unfolds nicely. And then we are happy and satisfied and not troubled by the confusion that comes from the sense objects. Hare Krishna. So, those are a few thoughts, a few points. I have something I thought I could read just for fun, but I couldn't remember whether I already read it here once before. I wrote something. We read this in Kintal a few days ago, a sort of dialogue that I confess I cooked up between Indra and his consort, Shachi. Have we read that here? Should I read it now? It's not too long. Okay. This is just for fun. I was thinking, after the whole affair with Govardhan Leela, all the trouble, and after Indra realizes mistake and offers prayers, then what? He goes home. What happens at home? after all this trouble. So here's what happens at home, possibly. Sachi says, Prabhu, Devendra, why are you returning so late to the palace? Were you consulting with Guru Brihaspati? Or were you again wasting time in the court with those silly dancing girls? Indra says, Devi, rest assured, I was delayed on important business. Rebellious uprisings must be firmly quelled. So I always learned. But this time, with Vrindavan, it became complicated. Sachi says, Vrindavan? You don't mean to say you attacked the land of Nanda and the cows and his beloved son Krishna, do you? Indra, what to say, Devi? It was they who started the trouble, that boy Krishna, in fact. How could I know who he actually is? Brihaspati never explained. Sachi, that's because you never listened to him. Are you telling me that you attacked that most wonderful land, the land of cows, that most beautiful and blessed land, where never is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day? That's from an American song. You actually dared to harass those devoted souls, the Vrajavasis. You actually intended to bring terror upon the cows and bulls who are so dear to Lord Krishna. You didn't really do that, did you? Indra says, well, you see, it was just... And Sachi says, how dare you? What is wrong with you? Have you lost all your sense of right and wrong? Don't you know that to give trouble to cows is the greatest sin? And did you forget that you and I reside in the body of cows, together with all the devas? I never. So then, tell me what you did. Indra, no, first I must explain. Krishna, as innocent as he may have appeared, got suddenly political, persuading his father to neglect my sacrifice. How could I let them get away with that? Sachi, so for the decision of one little boy and his father, you decide the entire population of Vraja Vrindavan, including the cows, must be punished? Unbelievable. With all due respect, Prabhu, where were you when Lord Brahma was passing out brain substance? So I suppose you sent rain clouds to punish them? Indra, well, yes. I sent the Samvartaka clouds. Samvartaka clouds. For that small hamlet, you sent the most terrible, world-destroying weapon? Indra, Vrindavan is not so small. Nanda Maharaj has a herd of 900,000 cows. Sachi, precisely my point. You would destroy the whole herd of Nanda's cows just because your pride has been pinched. So then what happened? Indra, there's this one mountain in Vraja, Govardhan. Krishna likes to go there and pass the time with his friends while herding the cows. Govardhan provides especially pleasing grass and herbs for the cows. Sachi, I see. And you thought, I will destroy the basis of their well-being. Go for the opponent's headquarters. So you sent the Samvartaka thugs there. And then Indra says, Sure enough, from the pounding rain, thunder, and lightning, the cows became desperate. And they ran to Krishna, lowing loudly, clearly begging Krishna to do something. And what Krishna did took me completely by surprise. With one hand, his left hand, he took that Mount Govardhan and lifted it aloft and held it there, perfectly balanced, as if it were weightless. Then he called all the residents of Braja, including all 900,000 cows, to take shelter under Govardhan, as if it were a giant umbrella. At first I thought, well, this is quite some trick, but he won't be able to hold it for long. So I urged the Samvartikas to continue the onslaught, which they did without hesitation for 7 days. And Sachi says, 7 days? It took you that long to understand who you were dealing with? 7 days and nights? Incredible, simply incredible. And what did the Vrajavasis eat during that time? What did the cows eat? Indra. Apparently they weren't the least bit hungry the whole time. They were so absorbed in simply gazing at Krishna. So then, well, yes, I got the point after 7 days and called the Samvartikas to withdraw. And then Krishna sent everyone back out from underneath the mountain. Then he gently set Govardhan back down, right where it had been before. Sachi. And then Indra. That's when I approached celestial Suravi to help out. By this time, I knew I was in big trouble with Krishna. So I thought the best would be to pacify him with prayers. And then Suravi could give her milk for an abhishek of Krishna. And then, and Sachi, so you went and troubled Srimati Suravi, putting her into an embarrassing situation just so you could get yourself out of trouble. Indra, no, Devi, don't put it like that. Suravi was happy to oblige, giving her an opportunity to serve Lord Krishna with her milk. But this is why I'm so late. It took me quite a long time to organize everything, and then I had to speak nice prayers to Krishna. And well, as you know, I'm not so good in Sanskrit, so it took time. And then a few celestial moments later, Sachi says, and now, what about the rest of Krishna's cows? What are you doing for the cows of Vraja Vrindavan? They continue to suffer throughout the land, now that Krishna has departed the world. What are you doing to protect the cows, to show the people how to bring well-being back to Vraja and to the whole world? When are you going to use your exalted position, Indra, now so darkly stained by your unthinking attack on Vrindavan, to finally do something for the millions and billions of suffering cows in the world today? Please show the way for human beings to become dutifully and affectionately protective of the cows who are so dear to Lord Krishna, whom Krishna personally serves, even as he is served by the whole world. This I want to know. When? And Indra says, yes, Devi, you are absolutely right. Now I have firm resolve. Now I must take up the cause of protecting cows so dear to Govinda, the Indra of cows. For only when cows are protected and cared for will the world be at peace. Only then will all beings thrive and joy will prevail. Thank you for helping me to see this truth. Let us together take up this essential message and make it known throughout the world. Om Tat Sat. So let's end there, unless anyone has a reflection or a comment or a question. Yes, Deva Shiradi.
I have a question relating to today's purpose.
Uh-huh.
The question might be a bit long because I'm still forming it. That in the purport we hear about how there is this remembrance and forgetfulness, that we remember the potency of being surrendered, and at the same time we forget that, and therefore we have difficulties and there is doubt, and we suffer in the pangs of material desires and the fire of material existence. And it's a topic I've been thinking about for a few weeks now, that doubt can be quite disempowering. And sometimes we have doubt because of uncertainty of the future, because we know our conditioned nature, and doubt, and the doubt is also stemming from fear, whether or not we'll be able to. Sometimes when we are trying to become Krishna conscious, we can see Krishna's presence and role in our lives, and sometimes what is the right thing to do, that is also very clear. But we may have our personal fears and also uncertainty. I don't know if I can do it, and therefore there is doubt. Then how, because Sachinanda Maharaj in his last lecture at the retreat, he spoke about the divided mind, and how our mind is so divided, and we have to, and this because of samskaras, that we have this divided mind. So I was thinking practically, how should we become determined? Because determination in our decision making or in Krishna consciousness is so empowering. So how can we become more and more determined as we navigate life ahead of us?
Practice makes perfect, isn't it? But about doubt, I recently heard a comment by Chaitanya Charan Prabhu from Mumbai, Govardhan Eco-Village. I thought very helpful about doubt. He says, doubt will be there, but you don't have to believe in your doubts. You can have the doubts, you can acknowledge, yes, there is this doubt, but you don't have to invest. I think what he's saying in a sense is you don't have to invest your faith in doubt. In the 17th chapter, Krishna has this interesting phrase, Shraddhamayo ayam purusha. The purusha, the living entity, is Shraddhamaya, is constituted of Shraddha. And it's only a question of where you invest your Shraddha. It's not that Shraddha is somewhere out there and you're trying to get it. You have it because of being a living being. And it's just a matter of investing it. In that context, in the Gita context, he's speaking about the three modes. So, Shraddha, faith in the mode of ignorance, in the mode of passion, in the mode of goodness. And lately what I've been, you mentioned you're reflecting on this, what I've been reflecting on occasionally is what I find helpful about the understanding these three modes, and this is getting back to question of determination, is the approach of Aristotle to the virtues. His Nicomachean ethics is about virtue ethics, which is about making an intentional effort to cultivate virtues, and by that becoming inclined to act virtuously, to act rightly. And he's speaking about, he emphasizes the idea of the middle way. He doesn't use that expression. He speaks of the mean, the middle, the balance point. And then from the middle there is divergence, one way or the other. And at least one example he gives is the virtue of courage. Courage, everyone agrees, is a good thing to have and to practice. But overdoing courage means you're becoming rash. You're doing something unnecessarily dangerous. So we could say this is like motive passion. On the opposite side, underdoing courage, what do you have? You have some timidity or perhaps even cowardice. And we can say that would be a mode of ignorance. So instead of thinking of the hierarchy model, which is there in the Gita, which is also important, we can think of this as deviation from the mean, the middle. And the middle, sattva guna, is the doorway to transcendence. So we can say that in all of our decision making, one question we can be asking ourselves is, what is the mean? What is the middle? Where is the balance? Where is the where is the sattvic point to turn, to keep the possibility, or to cultivate the possibility for the opening up to transcendence, to the Lord. And so this becomes a kind of moral compass. Determination means determining what to do. And there's always the question, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? What should I not do? What should I not do? So if we think in these terms, this can be one way of helping us. What to do? Go for the mean. Go for the sattvic choice. And the doubts, okay, they're there. But we don't have to invest our faith in them. We don't have to identify with them. We can say, yes, we acknowledge they're there. We're surrounded by uncertainty as long as we have material bodies. Krishna shows a way to overcome even that most fundamental uncertainty by recognizing what is certain. He says, what is certain is this body is going to be finished, but we are never going to be finished. Right? Nainam chindanti shastrani nainam dahati pavaka na chainam kledayantya apo na shoshayati maruta. There's nothing that can destroy us. So he shows us the direction for this ultimate assurance, you could say. Yeah, so that's one thought that may help. I forgot to mention from the purport, it strikes me whenever Prabhupada quotes this yasya hamanugrinami harishet addanam shanai, that the Lord takes everything away from one who is especially dear, he's very much being autobiographical. Prabhupada often would refer to this in connection with his own experience. He was a householder, he had a business, he said the business collapsed and his family, kind of, they didn't reject him, he rejected them, but they rejected his desire to engage in devotional service and preaching. So he very much identified with this this particular verse. Yasya hamanugrinami harishye. Harishye, I take away. Tattanam shanai, gradually I take away his wealth. Tatodanam tyajantyasya svajana dukkha dukkitam. The second half of the verse says, and when that happens, then the family goes, who cares about you? Yes, Hari.
Is it working? I have one reflection about the subject and also one question of yesterday's lecture. About the doubt, I understand that doubt is a function of intelligence. It is kind of, and I want very like this. I very like this analogy. When the spacecrafts are going to the space, they had a very big tank in the middle to overcome the gravity. But when they go up to the certain place, when this tank is finished, they have to give it up. Otherwise, they will fall down. So I see that intelligence like this, it helps for us to start at the beginning to come to a certain point, because we are here, most of us, just because we ask questions. Why it's happening? What is this word? What I am doing here? But after some time, I need to go understand that I cannot understand everything with my small brain. And this is the fact. And I should be more developed in bhakti and faith. So this is my idea. Question about yesterday's, this story about the camel. It was very good, and I was thinking about it. And yes, in one part, it is the shows the bad association, how it is important to have association. On the other part, isn't it also related to give us a lesson saying that we ourselves should be knowing what we are doing? We should have our own knowledge. We should not blindly follow somebody else. So that's why we should study Shastra and we should understand the path. We should remember the main goal. Otherwise, we will be a victim of somebody else.
Yes, certainly. We have to use our brain. Prabhupada spoke like that. Okay, I think we should end there because I have to get ready to go. Thank you all so much. It's always so nice to be here in Zagreb. Zurich. Where am I? Yeah. Trouble is moving around too fast. You kind of get confused. Where am I? You wake up one morning. Where am I today? Okay, thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Zurich Yatra ki jai. Gaur Premanande.